Peace. Greetings to you all. It's your brother Naheem, BKA Lord Abba, aka Mr. Just the Facts. We are doing our weekly segment, Keeping Up with Tamara, our sister who is making an unprecedented, incomparable Senate run to, as a reparationist, to promote a platform that we as a people want. And our sister is here to give us, our little updates. We have 22 days now until the election, sis? 21? 20? Woo! It's getting there. So, let's tell the people what's going on and what's shaking out there.
It is, you know what? It's getting hot out here. It's getting hot out here on the campaign trail, family. 20 days. I had to come out this week Sunday, with a video to really kind of shed some light on who Raphael Warnock is. People are seeing that reverend, and how we are as a people. We love God, and we know God, and we have a reverence for the church, and seeing that reverend in front of his name is making us think a certain way, and may not be thinking as critical as we need to think. We just see reverend, and it moves us, and we're spiritual people. So, and then the thing I get asked, are you a Democrat? So between the the Democratic stronghold that is on our people and the religious stronghold from with being indoctrinated sometimes in the church instead of being indoctrinated in the word and in God. It's a battle. So I had to come out this week with an ADOS style, but I tried to be tactful, but I was very direct. I was on the points, that this man is, using that pulpit for his personal political gain. And I needed it to be known. So I had to do it. And I did it on Sunday. The video is trending relatively well, I believe, here in Georgia. It's caused a buzz and a stir because how dare I, some people don't like you talking about pastor. That's pastor. You don't talk about pastor. But pastor stepped in the political arena. This is a different ring. This is like, this is a different lane.
That's right.
When you come over here, you got to be mindful that this ain't the game is how it's played. That's how it's played.
That's right. So, I mean, what was some of the feedback that you've gotten from that particular video? Because I've definitely watched it and shared it out as well.
It's been interesting. Some people that are very indoctrinated in the church, it's uncomfortable. It is, and I know church hurt. I have been. I'm born and raised in the Baptist church. I grew up in a Baptist church. I joined my first church. I joined was a Baptist church. And so this is uncomfortable when you start asking questions of the church or the pastors. This is uncomfortable. So it's for some people this is uncomfortable, and and I hate it. I hate that he has gotten into this race, because one of the things I said in the video, Naheem, was who's going to get the short end of the stick? Will it be the souls that he's trying to save for Christ, or will it be the state of Georgia and the constituents here in the state? Because it will be very difficult, which he has said he's going to continue to serve as senior pastor. It will be very difficult to be in Congress, to be there and give it everything that it needs, and to be senior pastor at Ebenezer Baptist Church. So I put it out there, and it's been uncomfortable for a lot of people. And then I've gotten a lot of high fives, that I'm telling, speaking the truth. I'm saying what, people see, but don't want to say.
Indeed. So, tell us how has things been since the last time you appeared on the Be the Power platform? How what's been going on? How is the
Well,
how's
it's
that groundwork going?
that ground game is, we have a tight ground game. I'm we're phone banking, which we can never have enough phone bankers. Like, so if anybody's available, we can never have enough phone bankers. So we're continuing the phone bank. We have people on the ground. We have foot soldiers around the state. I have been going back and forth to the post office a lot, which every time I go, I'm excited. I don't care how many times I have to go. I'm just excited to go to the post office and mail boxes of flyers. We are 40,000 plus strong with flyers around the state. So that's a lot of that's a lot of flyers that's being disseminated around the state. So I feel really good about, the foot soldiers and getting the word out that way. We've always had a social media campaign from the very beginning. We've just been a little more aggressive with our social media now that we're 20 days away. So we're hitting social media harder. I stay out there as much as I can, guys. I left Twitter alone just for the sake of the movement. And I just know that my constituency in Georgia is a lot of these rural areas. They're not on the internet to the extent that we are. Those of us that here are in the metro area. So I have, I've been really intentional about, like, whatever I can do to reach them where they are. We do have radio ads around. We haven't been able to get on TV. That's way out of our budget. We haven't had the money for that. And just candidly, we need money. I'm sitting here now torn with a dilemma, and I will throw this out at the family and give us something to kind of chop it up about tonight. We need about $1,500. We got a mailer that we don't have enough money to finish. We have the postcards ready to go. They have the addresses on them. These are voters. These are direct voters. But we don't have any more money for postage. And we're like, okay, so I'm constantly asking for money, because I know that this is what we need now. We got to finish this mailer. $1,500 when Raphael and the others have raised millions of dollars. $1,500 is air. It's really nothing. And then here's my other dilemma. I've been asked to come down to go down to South Georgia. I have 3 invites for a speaking engagement on Friday. 3. And I got word that there's something going on in Middle Georgia, like Middle Central Georgia, that I could participate in on Saturday morning. So I could go down Friday, Saturday morning, go to Middle and Central Georgia. Then they're over in Southwest Georgia. There's an older gentleman, 2 older gentlemen who have a pickup truck, right? And they want to put me on the back of the truck, and they want to drive me around these areas. And I'm like, I'm down. I want to do it. But that will be Saturday afternoon. And then I've been invited to back to Albany, and I could swing that way on Sunday. But this requires me to get another little small RV and get back out there. So it's like, it's hard as a candidate because in the situation that we're in with this campaign, trying to raise the money, because I'm choosing between things that I need to both be doing. We need to both this mailer is not an option. Like, that's not an option. That's direct mail. Those are direct voters. It's not an option. And it has to take precedent and priority. But then having these engagements where I can go and get in front of people and speak and garner votes and get attention, that's priority too. So we're just, and it's just sad to me, that I'm struggling. I just pray, like I said, and every time I've been on the Be the Power, I've said, I pray that no candidate that comes behind me have to go through what I've been through with raising money. I don't want to ever see, because this, it's hard enough being a candidate. I really haven't had a chance to be the candidate because I spent so much time doing so much of the grunt work. Like, I was sitting down today. We did get some postage in. This is previous. I'd already bought this, but so it finally came in the mail today. So I sat down today for 2 hours and I was putting postage on postcards, but those are the kind of things that when you have a campaign staff, you don't do that. Like, I shouldn't be doing that. I should be making sure that I'm in front of the people, garnering votes, garnering support, getting them, doing all the bigger picture stuff for the campaign. But You know, this is where we are. And I'm just, like I said, I just pray any candidate that comes behind me, brother, that they never have to go through what I went through.
You have a question on the screen. How is the media treating you?
Like I don't exist. Like we don't exist. Media is bought. You gotta, I mean, sometimes you can garner some free media, and you know, that's when something happens, or you know, even bad publicity is good publicity, you know. But them just giving you some publicity, no, not happening.
Brother Logic, did you have any questions?
Peace, peace, peace.
Hi, Brother Logic.
How you doing? Good afternoon. Good to see you. Good to hear you. So what I always liked about every time I heard you speak about it is the whole strategy when you talked about the uniqueness of this particular race, the runoff goal, and things like. Can you just speak to that one more time, if you don't mind?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you know, and this is something you said. We don't lose, we learn. I know somebody gave me credit for it, but this was Logic. This was Brother Logic's words. We don't lose, we learn. And I totally, because I've lost, you know, I've run before. You know, I ran for the state senate, and I understand how you have to work a district, you have to work a campaign, and you have to, you got to build it. Unless you got a whole bunch of money that you can buy it, you're going to have to build it. And what we've done with this campaign and with my candidacy is, I believe we have a foundation, and we'll be able to look at this race in its uniqueness, and we'll be able to see that, you know, we had this much money and we were able to do this, and we did that, and we couldn't do this to the extent. So we'll be able to look at this and really come to some real conclusions about how we move forward, you know. And this race, what people don't understand is this race is a 6-year term, but Johnny Isaacson got ill. And this is how this race even came about. Our Senator Johnny Isaacson was ill. Governor Kemp appointed Kelly Loeffler, but she was only appointed until there was a special election. So this special election is now, right? But there's still 2 years left in Johnny Isaacson's term. So in this term, so whoever wins, doesn't even matter. This same race has to be run again in 2 years.
That's right.
And then it becomes a 6-year term.
That's right. A question from the audience real quick. Could you reiterate the percentage for a runoff?
Yes. So in this special election, if nobody gets, there's 21 candidates, y'all. If nobody gets 50% plus one, then the top 2 candidates will have to square off in January. That could be, you know, with 21 candidates, you know, it could be 10, 12, 15%. You know, 2 people might get 10, 12, you know, some small number in the bigger scheme of things. And those 2 people might be in a runoff. So this is why this race is an exciting race for me, because when you're real clear about who your base is, that is a strategy right there in itself. I'm not trying my campaign, because I talk so boldly about reparations, and I'm Black, and I'm the blackest, boldest, blackest candidate on the ballot. You know, I understand that is only going to really resonate with certain people. In Georgia's demographics, we, you know, it's, you know, about 60-30, maybe 35%. And then the rest is other. 60% white, 35% Black, and the rest is other. I have to concentrate. We're probably half and half with Democrats and Republicans. So I have to concentrate. I already know Republicans are not going to vote for me, at least not right now. They don't have to. Why would they? So I'm not trying to appeal to anybody other than those that I know will vote for me. So I get to be Black. I think that's what was most exciting to me. In my other campaigns, I didn't get to be Black. And I say that in a way, you know, that I wasn't trying to be white, but I didn't get to be as Black as I am now. Like, I'm talking about reparations. And I ride with it. I rock with it. I love talking about it. It's like, if they don't bring it up, hell, I'm bringing it up.
That's right. That's
They don't
right.
have to bring it up. I'm gonna bring it up. So I get to be the candidate that I'm really in my zone and in my element. So this is an exciting, very exciting race. I think I answered your question, Brother Logic. If I didn't, please ask me again.
No, that was beautiful. I just listening to you, I'm just thinking about the political significance and the political value that you are capturing in this moment. And I just want the public to understand, in case they didn't get it, that what you're doing now is creating a metric, right? And when people always often talk about how to bring folks to the table, and we know that we're largely a wealthless group, when we know that money is the dominant motivating factor of bringing candidates to the table, right? But what else do candidates need to win? They need votes, right? Money doesn't always translate into votes. And what I think is so significant about your race is that it's showing how much of a voting bloc is out there that they don't have. So if it goes to runoff and those two top candidates have to go head to head in January, they're going to be looking to what can give them the edge. And if they see, well, damn, this sister got such and such amount of votes, now I need her. Right now, you know what I'm saying? So now I need you. So now it's table time. Now it's like, what do I do? So and before that, it's hard to get people to say, come to the table and incorporate our ideas into your platform. They're not trying to hear that. You don't have no money, and they already have a platform that they're running on. And if what you're looking for is not there, they're not just going to put it there. But when they need you, and how do they know they need you? There's only two ways that you can show them that you carry voting power. One is have like an organization that registers a lot of voters, and you say, look, we've registered this many thousands of voters and they're with us. And the other way is to actually do what you're doing and run for office and put some skin in the game. And then the percentage of the vote that you end up capturing is what you know, these people are with me, and if you want these people, this is what the people want. And that's leverage, right? And so I just want people to understand that significance, and that is a big deal. That is a big deal. What you're doing is actually creating a voting block with your candidacy, and that is like the most significant leverage we can have in this moment. So that's how you bring people to the table. That's how you get people to actually want to incorporate your ideas in your program, in your agenda. And I just think what you're doing was beautifully thought out, well planned, and you are a real strategic tactician. And I just admire the work you're doing. That's all I really wanted to say.
Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. I got this, like I said, I got the scars and the receipts. I ran in 2014. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I had to quickly figure it out. I had to quickly figure out how this game worked. And coming back in 2016 as a candidate to go from 37% to 43.8%, I realized the leverage. I'm like, oh, okay. This is how you do it, and I got more respect along the way, and I knew in 2018 that race was going to be a win, and that's when the Democrats decided that they wanted to see a white face in this seat and not my brown one. So that's when I saw how politics works, and it was like like they came for me from an angle, and I was not ever prepared for that. I was not prepared for them to come at me and fight me with race. Because you could fight me on anything else, but when you threw me being a black person into this, and that was the reason why I wasn't going to win, I knew I couldn't. But now in this race in 2020, I'm riding on that blackness. Like the one thing that you tried to use against me in 2018 is the space and the place right now where I know I have the most leverage. And people here when I talk about reparations, guys, I see people perk up. They like it. They understand it. They get it. And I'm just glad that we're in this moment together.
Definitely. You have a question on the screen that says, "Are we hopeful in Atlanta?"
Where is it? Are we hopeful in Atlanta? I wonder what that means, Avery.
Yeah, because this is a statewide race, Brother Avery. So I don't know if you mean is the support in Atlanta, I don't really understand, but this is a statewide race. So we're like basically.
So let me speak to that where I think he might be, and if you, Avery, if you're still with us, please make sure you clarify so I can answer you accordingly. So here's some inside, y'all. Here's some inside. There's 8 Democrats on the ballot, right? 2 of them, we don't know who the hell they are. There's 2 names on the ballot. We don't know who they are. They have yet to have shown up for a forum because we've had our virtual online forum. They've yet to show up to anything. No website. Well, one of them, she does have a website. And here's what I've seen, and this is just my theory, that where I've seen one of the candidates, where I've seen her signs is out here where I live, and I saw them in Atlanta, to kind of piggyback on Avery's question. I saw them in Atlanta. So I believe that these 2 people, and this is just my theory, that are on the ballot as Democrats, I believe the Republicans planted them there. Somebody planted them there, because I believe that they're going to siphon votes because the names are women and the names are a little more ethnic. And I believe that, so going back to his question about Atlanta, I think that Atlanta is a toss-up. I don't think anybody can say they're going to really garner all of Atlanta, or because I just think it's a toss-up, because so many people are like, Raphael's church is divided over his run. So for that part alone, I think that, there's talk. So I think it's a toss-up in Atlanta, to kind of answer his question.
Right. So I'm going to put your Cash App up on the screen. And, let's help get our sister over the top, family. First, let me put your website up. You could also donate through the website, www.tamaraforgeorgia.com. And her Cash App is, I just passed it, Tamara. No, it's the Tamara for Georgia.
Yeah, the Tamara. And you'll see a picture of my flyer there as well.
And I just want to chime in and say also that just know that once the sister wins, hopefully the sister wins, and then she goes to White House, she's just not the senator of Georgia. She's a senator for everybody, because her vote in the chamber will be for all of us. So it's not like, oh man, I don't live in Georgia, I can't really support her. You can support her from anywhere in the country, y'all, because she's our family. She's for us, and she was going to represent us in Washington. So don't feel like that if you're not in Georgia, then you just out of the game. You can't do nothing. And listening to your last comment, and you talking about, the multiple times you've ran and everything. And like I told you before, we don't lose, we learn. And government is the game, and politics is how it's played. And the more you play, the better you get. The more you hone your craft and you perfect your skills. And I see your refinement, and I'm with you all the way. And I think that you are a testament to what will can do for you when you have real willpower and you just got determination. And people looking to you, they're inspired. And I think we will see. I think you are setting a trend for people to be, which I like the way you said it, be black and bold as they want to be. I love that. So we need more of it. And I'm just glad that, you're here and I can be able to support the first self-identified, American descendant of slavery that's running for U.S. Senate. This is history, and I'm glad to be a part of it. And I'm glad to have you on our platform.
Thank you. Yeah. You know what? And I think that I'm looking at, people that I believe, and I'm just looking at the way I'm talking about Georgia, and I'm looking at the way some of these people that know me politically and how quiet they are. A lot of people are watching because, being Black in politics is, you can't do this. You can't do this. You can't talk boldly about Black people and Black issues and speak to our concerns. You can't do this in politics. And many people are watching, these politicos in Georgia are watching. And I think, once this is over and we get past November 3rd, I think we're going to see a rise of other people that will claim their Blackness and won't be afraid to talk about us to the extent that I have talked about us. So, I think, we're it's a learning curve, but I think that we are doing our part to redefine politics. I feel like Donald Trump's presidency changed the game. And I think that, and I actually had this conversation this morning on a broadcast, and I was telling the young lady that, I'm from that generation where we didn't have technology. I'm telling my age. I remember, I remember the first cell phone was in a bag and it was big and it was, you remember that?
Right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
big,
I mean,
funky thing.
That big old chunky thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We played outside. I didn't have technology. So I come from a generation where, I know how to get on the ground. When I started my business, I had business cards, real business cards, passing them out to everybody. And that's how I ran. That's how I started my business. And I'm doing the same thing with my run. I am passing out business cards. I'm on the ground. I'm doing things that were pre-technology stuff. Plus, I'm privy to be in this generation where I do understand technology. So I'm able to incorporate, all the stuff that, the stuff that I know works, the grassroots stuff that I know works, plus technology. So I just think that, we're in a good place. It's just raising the money has been my challenge. And I we're 20 days away. And like I said, I'm in a dilemma now. We got these postcards that have to go out. And I have this opportunity to go down to South Georgia and speak. And it's like, we need the money. So I need our family to make a contribution, donate. We're in 20 days, guys, and that's it. We're done. We're done for this particular election. So let's finish hard. Let's finish strong.
Definitely. We have our sisters' Cash App up on the screen. The Tamara for Georgia. This sister is fighting, man. I'm thinking about Cory Booker's companion bill to HR 40 in the Senate, S-1083, I believe it is. And could you imagine seeing a reparationist's name as one of the co-sponsors of that bill? We don't have that. Like we have to start setting our goals. And what this sister is doing is, at least over here, for what we're striving to do at Be the Power, this sister is helping to establish that goal that we envisioned when we started this platform of becoming the power. And this is why her race is important, and it can't be compared to nobody else's race at all. So thank you, sis, for coming on and giving us an update. Everybody check out the sister's website, tamaraforgeorgia.com. Is there anything else that you wanted to add, sis, before we get up off of here?
I just want to say I love you, family, and I thank you. And, I know we've been going through lately, but guess what? Through is just a moment in time, and we're going to all get on the other side of this. And whatever happens on the other side of this race, we're still going to be family. And we still got reparations to go and get. So we still got a mission. We still got a purpose. And I want to thank Be the Power, y'all, for just loving on me and being here and being my big brothers. Like I said, I never had any big brothers before, but this. I know what family feels like with you guys. So I appreciate you. I love you guys tremendously.
Honest. All right, sis. I'm gonna stay on just for a couple minutes. I don't want you. I got some things to speak to, so I don't want you to be on for that. So we'll do it again in a couple days, sis.
All right.
We'll do it again in a couple days.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
You too, sis. Peace. All right. I'm staying on for a second. I just gotta address some things to the people in the peanut gallery on Twitter. First and foremost, can't nobody play us, because this is one of the charges that's being thrown around. And I'm not gonna be addressing none of this stuff. We got work to do over here. I'm not gonna be mired in these corny little beefs from the peanut gallery. We had Sister Jam on last night, and the purpose that we bring a Jam on, or anybody, right? Whether it was them crazy Moors that we had on, that we offered the link to debate, because we send out links over here. We send out links policy over at Be the Power, because I've seen that. You shouldn't have had her on your platform. Hold up, who are you talking to, family? This is Be the Power. You can't tell me who to listen to or who I should be trusting. Once somebody shows me a certain type of something, I don't trust that person. No more. I don't have to listen to anybody, right? We listen to who we listen to, period. And at the end of the day, that conversation with Jam was a productive conversation, because it showed that she doesn't know what she's talking about. She's just spreading the same vitriol that been going at the ADOS movement since they started gaining notoriety. So for the people that try to speak to the fact that we had her on the platform, that opens up the door to bring Narc on the platform. That opens up the door to bringing Cobra on the platform, because now we get to the direct this conversation in a certain type of way. We get to pull out the facts and stand them against whatever it is that they're trying to stand on. So I just wanted to address the peanut gallery. Chill. Did you have anything you wanted to say, Brother Logic?
Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't able to be a part of that discussion, but I did take some notes, and I want to make a couple comments based on some of the things that was discussed. For one, the problem with Pan-Africanist thought and having an African-centered perspective, right? It parallels the same problems from having a European-centered perspective, and some of the same negative consequences that Eurocentrism has had on our people, thinking that everything has to be centered around Europe, in Greece and England and France and Italy and Rome. So when we had the big Afrocentrist movement, and everyone was having this kind of African-centered perspective. You had all these scholars coming out: Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Ivan Van Sertima, Barashango. We can name them all, right? I mean, they did in their time, they did the best that they could do, and for that moment, it was necessary. But when you know more about Mansa Musa and Timbuktu and Abu Bakr and the pharaohs of Egypt, more than you know about Hiram Revels, Robert Smalls, Prince Rivers, and all of the great warriors that are homegrown here, right in America, that's a problem. And the one thing she said is that she doesn't see us as Americans. She doesn't see herself as an American, that she wants to see herself as an African. That's a real concern, because when your family, your blood and bone, actually fought the war to create America, nationality was born with that. We were the patriots who actually fought the war to bring America into existence. That's when we became American, with the formation of this country, right? And you don't, and then so now American is a nationality, right? You are a part of a nation that you help form and create. Africa is a continent, and I wanted to ask her, when she said that she's African, I was just like, well, please tell me who your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, your grandparents, who is you, what nation are you from in Africa, and who are your relatives there, right? And then she taught, and then like a lot of people who take on and take hold to the Afro-centered perspective, they lose the American perspective. So now you are willing to sacrifice your nationality because you have a history of oppression and being wronged and being an injured party in America. No one else does that but us. No one else does that but us. You have all kind of oppression in Cuba with under dictators like Batista and Machado and and a Castro, and but the Cubans, they didn't like that oppression, but they still held on to their nationality. They still said "Viva la Cuba." They love Cuba. You have all kind of Mexican oppression under different kind of dictators and cartels and everything, but the Mexicans still love Mexico. Even all the immigrants who run out of their country fleeing to America because their country has oppressed them, done them wrong, and they can't get the type of life and liberty and pursuit of happiness they want there. They come here, but they still hold on to the connection to where they came from, right? No one just abandons that but Black folks. Even in Africa, you got all kind of oppression and African imperialism going on over there, even after they fought revolutionary wars. When the same Black revolutionaries ended up turning into the oppressor. But you got the people who still cling on. They don't stop saying, I'm Kenyan, and they don't stop saying I'm Congolese, and they don't stop saying, I'm this and I'm that. You just understand that this is your history. And you're fighting for justice. Just because you have a long lasting battle for justice in the country that you built does not make you not a part of that country. This is our history. We have to accept it. Another negative consequence of African thought in America is that it makes you ashamed of your American story. So now you don't even want to you missed out on all the glory and greatness of your ancestors because you were ashamed of it. So you want to call yourself African instead of saying you an American. That is a real sad shame. And that sister, is just confused. At the end of the day, she's just confused. She's has a conflict within herself. And if she soaked herself in more American centered perspective and understood her true history, she would be proud of it. Because when you have a story like Robert Smalls, who was on a Confederate ship, revolted on that ship, took the ship over, captained that ship to the Union soldiers. They made him the Union captain of the ship. He fought the war with the Union soldiers. When the war was over, the man goes back and buys the same plantation he was raised on. When you have a story like that,
That's superhero stuff.
that's superhero stuff. And I haven't even gotten to Prince Rivers. If you're from South Carolina, you should know who Prince. You should have a picture of that man up in your house. If you're from South Carolina, you should have a picture of Prince Rivers in the house. It was once quoted that if South Carolina ever had a king, Prince Rivers would be his name.
That's
Like
right.
you have to understand, when you really understand your own story, you will hold that up above anybody else's story. That don't mean we don't have respect for Africa and what Africa has done historically in a world historical standing. That's fine. But when I'm talking about my mama's story, when I'm talking about my father's story and my great 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 story, that story is held above everybody else's story because it's mine. So I don't need to have a identity that's centered around Africa. That bond was severed long ago. When you have a story like, and I know I'm running on, but I missed the show and I wanted to be able to say these things. When you have a story like Emmett Till and his horrific horror that he had to live, that's not an African story. Emmett Till was not an African. Emmett Till was an American from Chicago who visited his people in Mississippi and ended up being lynched, murdered, and killed in the most horrific way. That's an American story. And that's why we're fighting for justice. You can't be a real reparationist in America fighting for reparations to a specific group of the descendants of freedmen and try to center yourself in Africa. That's the wrong energy. That's the wrong energy. Those are not your ancestors who are in the ground here. That's not your ancestors who blood, sweat, and spirit built this country. She called what we're talking about American exceptionalism. And it is American exceptionalism. But then once you understand who and what made America exceptional,
That's
you
right.
won't have no
Ooh,
problem
come
with
on.
American
Come on with it.
That's
exceptionalism.
right.
You understand? If
That's
it wasn't for us, America there wouldn't be nothing exceptional about America.
It'd be a bland, vanilla, banal place.
They would have destroyed it a century ago. You know, so when you
Mhm.
and when that name America, if you've traveled anywhere in the world, you know when you say an American, they're not talking about nobody from South America. They don't think that you're from Canada. They know you talking about the United States, because the United States of America is the only country with America in its name. When Brazilians don't call themselves American, they call themselves Brazilians. The Colombians don't call themselves America, and nobody recognizes them as American. They recognize them by their nationality. Understand that, right?
And I want to say too, America was first. America was first. So if you think back to those when it was time to make nations, America was the first nation over here. As far as uh, everybody else was dealing with European colonial rule, we and I'm talking when I say we, I'm not talking about no generic group of people. I'm talking about specifically ADOS fought to win that war and help make the new nation over here. So when you want to say, well, there are other people are Americans too. Well, no, because we fought and we made the nation. We fought. We got out of that European colonial rule and formed the nation called America first. So no other nation was first to do that over here. Maybe if Mexico got broke free of Spanish first, or maybe if uh, Jamaica broke free of the British first, or maybe I don't know. I'm just putting that out there. Whoever, if they broke free first, and they could have had the claim to the name America.
Yes, that's very true, brother. And so, my time is short. I just wanted to come in and weigh in on that, and how, being a reparationist in America is rooted in the sons and daughters of the freedmen. It's not rooted in anything else, and it has no Pan-African elements associated with it. No matter who wants to try to do that, that's a fool's errand. You understand? And just so you know, she agreed to the criteria. When she was asked the question, Naheem asked her the question, and she said, well, no, I don't think everybody should get it. So she kind of already killed her own argument. And that was the beautiful part of the way we do things, right? We had another Pan-Africanist on the show, Pastor Joseph Evans, and we had a discussion with him, and he also understood what we was talking about, and we got him also to admit, for the public record, that he doesn't think and agree that American reparations should pay for justice for the entire diaspora. We got him to admit that too. So what we're doing is building a public record of these people admitting what is right. And that's what we're going to continue to do. That's how it is. That's how it will always be. This is life. This is BTP, and I'm out.
All right, bro. Yeah, we just wanted to jump on real quick, Josh. I know you probably want to say something to Brother Ump if you're listening.